Hello, good afternoon again. Welcome to the stream. Me and Andy sitting this side alone. I don't think anybody expected, even I didn't expect to stream again. But anyway, it's happening. Zebo gave us a possible fix and an instruction to test it. And while I was sitting, I was thinking, might as well just show you guys while I'm doing it, part of the journey, So, like it, don't like it, love it, don't love it, it's up to you. But if you find value in it, just tell me. And that's about it. We're starting at the wrong airport because I've just installed the scenery. The link is in the description below the video. I upgraded from version 1.4 up to the latest one, and I just don't want to do a flight and then come here and it's not working. So we're going to respawn at Manchester shortly, and then we go through all the motions. So it's not a normal flight. I'm not just going to sit and, go through the motions and fly. I have to concentrate on what Zebo asked. We need to do a couple of different things, and I'll, talk you through it, and then you talk with me. All right, so let's see if this thing works. Come on, lift up. So this is EBCI Charleroi and the new scenery. Huh? Doesn't look bad. Couple of anomalies there, definitely. Now I wonder why. Wow. Hello, Niels. That's terrible. I don't know. I'm not sure if I have to rebuild my authos and stuff. I haven't really read the actual instructions. The runway seems usable. That's all that matters at this point in time. So if I have to redo the authos, because you need to run this, I think at zoom level 19 or something, it's ridiculous. And it looks like it's gone wrong a bit. Damn it. Okay, well, it's usable. We'll go through the plowed field if we have to, but I don't think we have to. I think we'll land there on the good side, and we won't worry about this plowed field on this side. Okay. So this is my test model. Linda is not in it, and yeah, I'll taxi slow. Yeah, well, be careful of the bumpies. But anyway, so this is the possible fix. 9A. What does it say? 9A. Thought we should have 9B. Hang on, let me re-download it because that is a problem. Okay, so I'm just going to quit. I'll update it. I'm pretty sure I got 9B. But anyway. Also just human, unfortunately. Display capture, and you can see my background. Yeah. Right, so aircraft. Oh, you know what I might have done? I might have thrown the wrong update in the wrong folder. So let's try again. Replace. This says 9B. I'm going to leave it open just for the record for myself. Let's fire up. Carolus, in the VA, let me show you. Duplicate the tab. Okay, so in the VA, if you go to utilities and I believe downloads, no. It says VA liveries. Sorry, my mistake. These are the liveries that I share with the public, and it's available literally from the website. So we've got for the Zebo, we've got for the Flight Factor, and also Level Up. And then that livery that I was flying this morning, that Bravo 737 is making for us. That will be an additional thing that will also be loaded in here, and it will cover the Zebo, and it will also cover all the level ups, not just the 6 and the 700. But this is where I save them and share them with my good friends. So you're welcome to grab them there. I'm not sure if these ones work, by the way, because we changed the URL. If it doesn't work, just let me know. We can make another arrangement to get it to you. But this is the normal place where I share them. All right, so this time we're going to spawn at EGCC and get it over with. Number 7 is fine. There we go. All right, it's going to take a minute or 3 to just load up. Right, so what Zebo says is we need to test, and he says we need to select a runway and a SID and a star and approach with activation or without activation. Both needs to be tested. Then we need to change the SID, the star, and the approach and try it again with and without activating. All right, so the big story, as we were hunting, remember I started and I said, you can see that in all my records all over the platforms. I said the problem comes in the people did not activate the flight at the right time, or they pressed the execute button at the wrong time. And I actually had one guy that was kind of offended because I said everybody didn't want to be included in that. I do apologize. I did generalize, but the majority of people, that's what the perception was. When the guys came to Discord, we had a couple of guys show it to us in Discord, even some of our own team members. McTrying showed me, do this, do that, and then it just crashes. We eventually showed Zebo. And to make a long story short, apparently, although that could be part of the problem, it's actually the real reason why it was freezing is because of a data synchronization issue. Zebo did not go into any particular depth to explain the whole story of that. I pretty much actually don't really care right now. I'm just hoping it's fixed, and I trust him that it is fixed. So we're going to test that now. But it's strange that this data synchronization, while picking the SIDs and the stars and these kind of things, something went wrong. And, it took a while. It took us 2 days to figure it out, to be honest. Because one of the biggest things is my system never froze up. I couldn't reproduce it. McTrying could reproduce it on demand. And then all of a sudden, while Zebo's sitting there with us in Discord, he tries to show us and it didn't do it again. It was just fixed. It just never happened again. So it was frustrating. But eventually, Zebo got behind it, it seems, and we're going to test it now. And this is why we're all here. So, hey, that's the chat about that. Emery, it's not been updated yet. You have to be patient. If you look at the actual name of the stream, it says there in brackets at the back, non-public. This is the test model. Zebo literally gave it to us a few minutes ago, I think half an hour ago or so. And I said, okay, fine. I'm going to test it. And when I came to sit down here, I just thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to do it alone. I might as well just broadcast it and you guys can watch. If you want to, you're welcome. So just hang in there. Hello, sorry, let me get closer. That is Warner. Hello. And then Carl. Yes, long time, sir. Long time. Long time. How are you keeping? Are you having a good day? Did you manage to get some sleep in between? Yeah, that's what we're doing now. So hopefully it works. The sooner we can see that it works, the sooner you guys can get the fix. Hello, Christer. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Nico.
Yeah, it's got to load all the Orbex through Earth stuff and the sceneries and everything. I do not use the navigation fix thing at this time because we're testing. So it's not that. It's just all the sceneries and everything that needs to load. Hello, Eugene. Welcome.
I'll say good morning, sir.
Hello, Carl. Nice to have you here.
Likewise, had the time, figured I'd join in. That way I'm not typing my fingers to the bones.
Excellent. Yeah, that helps. That helps.
Every time I show someone your channel, they always see that nice, sexy livery. And they're like, I wanted to have that. I'm like, yeah, he's not going to so much give you.
Yeah,
That's the first thing they talk about.
I know. The ones that I share, I've just showed you. I think you came in afterwards. I did show the guys they can grab whatever I share from the VA website. There are a few there. And this new one that I was showing this morning, that one will be available to everybody. That's not the Skymatix exclusive one. So everybody can join and have that one.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to load that on Iveo as well. So we'll have the CSLs and the MTL. So we will be cross-platform capable. We'll be in Explain P3D and 2020. So it'll be good.
You should sell that, man. I bet you'd make money on that livery.
In the beginning, how many years ago? 5 more years ago, I sold a few liveries, but a lot of guys didn't like buying them. And there was always this I don't know, a bit of a struggle. And then I said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to sell them anymore. Forget it. Because it seemed to cause strife amongst the brothers, and I didn't want that.
Yeah, I guess I could see how that could happen. That's always unfortunate, but yeah, you get so many compliments on it. You just, hey, here it is, $25 a pop.
Yeah.
A month later, Nico's driving a brand new Mercedes, and hey,
How did you know I like Mercedes?
I'm psychotic, psychic.
Cool. Goes with the name. Go. No, my dream is just to get a new PC. If I can just upgrade this one, I'll be very happy. But in our currency, it is almost impossible. It's almost impossible. I will have to save at least 3 or 4 or 5 months to get a new one. And that is the plan. I will be doing that. Yeah.
How much are you talking about? Rough figures. A new PC or just upgrading that one?
No, it will have to be actually a new one. This one is getting old. It's really old now. This one I got in 2015, so it's old. So it'll have to be basically a new one. You're probably talking about $2,500, $3,000 approximately for what I want. So that's why I said I'll just have to save a little bit, to get there because for me, I'm talking I mean, we can actually do the calculation if we really wanted to, but it's about 44,000 South African rand. So that's a lot of money.
Yeah, sure. That's a little bit of chunk of change. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why you save, brother. That's why you save. Don't do it in one go. In 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you'll see. There's a new PC.
I tell you, I don't know if I ever told you how much my business spent on the business computer I have, but it's obscene. If I had to buy it on my own for myself, I'd probably be like, yeah, no, not so much, and my wife would leave me.
Exactly. Yeah, if it's not a business expense, it's almost impossible to do. So
yeah, I'll put it like this: my brand new Forerunner, just the sticker price, not what I paid for it. The sticker price, and I got it brand new in 2013. They only make them in Japan. I special ordered it from there. It took 3 months to come in. Got it. Stickered it was like 49,000 and change US dollars. That's
I
what it
know.
showed up with the price for it.
Yeah.
The computer I have here is that and then some.
Yeah.
And it's mainly high speed storage, the storage controllers, and when you start getting into like the workstation style motherboards with the multiple processors there, and then most importantly from the financial aspect of it, that high speed ECC memory, the error correction checking memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 512 gigabytes of main RAM, and that RAM was high dollar RAM.
Wow. Okay, so question: do you use it for work as well, or just for fun? I mean, usually you
Oh
use it for
no,
work.
I use a lot of work streams on it. The reason I have it like that is not just so I can go out and, like, as they say, pimp my ride so I can do all the games. It's actually so I can run multiple high speed, high volume storage virtual machines all at once without
Okay,
sacking
gotcha,
all the processor and disk IO down to no, almost nil, right?
gotcha. No, I thought there was more to the story.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
Mm,
it happens to be able to game as well, but I actually have a
mm,
dedicated gaming machine that has a
mm.
whole different GPU. It was a Quadro, which is a high end workstation graphics card. It actually doesn't do that great for games, honestly, but it's a high dollar GPU. But it's
Mm.
great if I were one of these guys that does all that crypto mining.
Oh
It's
yeah.
super at that, and I could do big bank. I did for a while. I did a little bit of mining, but it takes a lot of power. And where I'm from, you start getting knocks on the door because they're saying like, hey, why do you have all this power draw here? Like, you're if the next 150 houses combined don't have your power draw. So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, they were going to force me to do a business drop, which is a much higher voltage drop from the pole, and then charge me minimum of like $1,500 a month for service connections. So yeah,
Gotcha.
not
Just want
worth it.
to. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Just wanted to see. For the longest time, I didn't have an FPS problem at Manchester, and all of a sudden today I see there's a problem again. So I just want to quickly see if I can't just boost my FPS a little bit. I hate flying with 20 and 22 FPS. It's ridiculous.
What does plugin admin tell you when you go there? What does it tell you? Is just sucking up your FPS there?
I think it's a combination. It's scenery, the scenery, and the area combination between all the Orbix sceneries, the TDG sceneries, and all. For
Mm-hmm.
some reason, I've noticed it here and also with EGGW. Trevor's scenery doesn't play well with the Orbix stuff, or the Orbix ones doesn't play well with Trevor's stuff. I did leave a note there on the forum, but I haven't checked if I had a reply yet, because there seems to be a bit of an issue between the systems. They don't like each other. So unfortunately, it's a
I was just
pain.
gonna say, is it a handoff between the Orbex scenery and not? Because I've seen those kind of issues back and forth between
Mm,
what is excellent, beautiful scenery from Orbex, and if
mm,
you have anything that snaps into the larger, like,
mm.
regional scenery they have, and if it doesn't do that cleanly, I've seen performance issues there. Just that's what you're describing.
Yeah. In Luton's instance, for instance, I go into X Organizer and I have to kill all the UK South or GB South airports, because the moment I have that and EDG on, I get like 5, 6, 7 frames. So
Really?
there I've learned
Wow.
to do the trade off. When I want to fly to Luton, I have to disable or in that area, for instance, I have to disable the TDG scenery. When I fly, in the area, but I don't go to Luton, I just switch those scenery instances off, the EGGW, and then I've got semi-decent frames.
What I used to hate is all the bullshit with the ground traffic, because the interactions there with all the ground traffic stuff that's on by default. Just so many of them are loaded into memory, and there's definitely an issue with X-Plane when you have too many plugins enabled.
It is, especially ground traffic. What you will get is certain of the add-on aircraft will run out of resources. They won't even start up, and we're talking payware aircraft. I'm not going to name the names, but the ground traffic kills everything. So I think the limit in X-Plane is 45 airports can be enabled. You can have 45 or 44 airports enabled. The moment you go to 46, the add-on aircraft won't run. It just blocks it.
Yep. Sassel has a problem doing that too. That's one of the things that a lot of the higher end aircraft use for processing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the Sassel service, it also, I've seen it mess with in older implementations, AutoGate and now SAM.
Gotcha. Right. Okay. The FPS seems a little bit better, so I feel better too. Let's quickly zoom out. So the reason I like the scenery is because you see over here, they've got the new pier included in the scenery. If I use the Aerosoft scenery, I get better FPS, but then I don't have this pier because it's old. And when they did their update a few months ago, they never bothered to put the pier in there, So, yeah, it looks cool and all, but, FPS hits. Currently, I've gone up to about 28, 27, so I'm happy. Now we can start playing around a bit. All right. Okay, thank you for telling me, Andy. Mako was out of town for business. He stays in South America, so he's out of town for business, and when he comes back, I did tell him, and we'll just remind him, to fix the livery URLs, so the guys can start downloading that again. Right, guys, so welcome, and sorry for this long thing, but this is typically how it works, It's not a planned stream, and I obviously had to set up everything, and etc., etc., etc. So let's get going. I want to quickly connect my ACARs because this morning I forgot the ACARs, and I can at least get brownie points if we do fly. Right. Need to get Edge sorted. There you go. There's Edge. All righto. So let's start from the beginning. Hello, Pavel. Start from the beginning. All right. Yeah, I appreciate it, Andy. We're okay, thank you, and you? All right, I want to quickly speak to Antonio. I'm not sure, Antonio, if you're going to see this live, if you are here or later on. I want to explain quickly something. He asked me earlier today about the rounding in Zebo. Now, if you look at your OFP, this is the LIDO format from SimBrief. You will obviously get your plant fuel section over here, but there's nothing rounded. Now, what we picked up very early on in the system when me and Twixter were doing the performance values and calculations, and I was still busy writing the Zebo install guide, what we found is that the rounding that is used by SimBrief and the rounding that's used by Zebo are two different things. Okay, and that's why I sometimes have to quickly go set the rear galley value 10 kilograms more or less. All right, so what I do when I program is I actually come down here to the weights section. This is already rounded, and what we did then back in the day was we made sure that if we use these values, we actually get the appropriate corresponding value, so that it matches. Right, so I'm going to show you that basically for Antonio, but I believe a couple of you guys will pick up on this as well. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we don't worry about male, female, child, infants, whatever it's called. We don't worry about things like that. What we do is we put in 16.9 ton. That is the total, right? Now, the way the Zibo code works is it will give you a more stable takeoff CG opposed to a more stable landing CG. You can leave it as is. It's not going to make a difference. It will work. But I go and I take my 500 kilograms. So it's, now I can't remember what the value was, 753. So that will be 253. I take 500 from the front, throw it towards the back. So it's 27. All right, so I just make sure it's still 16.9. So what happens is the CG shift it works out different. So I get a little bit more stable landing. That's about the basics. Right, and then the fuel, I literally take the 6.1 from there.
Nico, shouldn't you add the ton of cargo there? So 17.9, isn't
No. No, I don't. I take the total payload. And the reason, oh, here you are, Antonia. I was just using your name very idly. Okay, so the reason I do that is because of the hidden value of the 25 kilogram of baggage. All right. So in order to get it to actually match, I just take the total payload. Whatever happens at the top and whatever happens there is absolutely irrelevant to me. It's just values. Okay. So I don't care if it's really 153 passengers. I don't care if it's really 1 ton of cargo. I care because of that value. That's what I'm looking at. And when you then look at the situation later on, you'll see everything in the FMC is then spot on. Then I don't necessarily, have to worry about rounding or anything. So that's just how I do it. Just makes it easier.
So making without adding cargo, you get the zero fuel weight that you have on the first page, for example.
Yeah, this zero fuel weight that you see over there will be spot on. My takeoff weight will be spot on. It's usually, when you look in the FMC, you'll see the gross weight will be 66.1 or 66.2, and that is just the 100 or the 200 kilogram that is then added for taxi fuel. But everything here, payload, zero fuel weight, fuel, takeoff weight, they will all match precisely. You see?
Nico, there is also one more reason actually. And that is that you want to make sure that you only use the fuel that you are assigned to.
Yes.
For the trip. Because if you're a little too much fuel or little too little fuel on arrival, you can actually get into trouble.
Yes. Yeah, that's also true. So, that's just my way of doing it. You guys must also remember, because I do a lot of training with people, and a lot of guys come in here, they know nothing or very little, okay? There's no point in making it difficult for them. And the funny thing is, a lot of these, especially the new guys, they've got some other OCD or something in them when the paperwork says that the zero fuel weight should be 60.0 and they don't see it. To try and explain to them why it's not exactly as they see on paper is difficult. So just to make my life easier when I give training and to make their lives easier when they learn, we keep it simple. Once they get further on, we can start talking about the 10% loss because the guy never showed up and this baggage didn't go, and those kind of things. You're going to start talking about that, but there's no point in the beginning. And my type of training that I do, is all based upon getting people, into the system more than the advanced stuff. That's where Sasso and Jan and all the other real pilots come in. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, And I tell you what, if you now look at the performance calculations in TopCat and all these things, because everything is matching from the beginning, it trickles through and everything matches towards the end. So there's method in my madness, to put it that way. Anyway, HD simulation. Welcome, David. Good day to you too. I haven't, David. No, I haven't covered the problem yet. Not at all. We were literally sitting here trying to just get going because we weren't really planning on doing the stream. So you will see everything you need to see now, and you're welcome. I'm glad I saw your message. Right though. Okay, so we are now in the phase where I'm just going to start that. I'm not going to bother with ground services or anything else at this point in time. We're now going to start with checking that we can do the FMC. So, right, this is where the whole test is now going to start.
Fuel is all loaded up and you
This
are
is
good
the
to go.
0.9, isn't it?
Yes, 9B. Let me actually check. That was one of the reasons we're also late, because I made a mistake. Yeah, so this is 9B. Didn't put it away. All right. Scotsman. Right, so we're going to pick up on GPS left. We're going to go put that in there. Then we're going to go to the route. All right, so what I did was I exported a flight plan with the SimBrief downloader. So that does not include the SID and the star and the runway. I've also downloaded one from Navigraph that includes the SID, the star, the runway. So we're going to start with the basics. Let's start with SimBrief first. And then what we're going to do is go EGCC. By the way, guys, we found that it does not make a difference whether you do the company route or the manual entering. Okay, the data synchronization that went wrong behind the scenes is irrelevant to whether you do the company route or not. So just to save time, I'm going to use company routes. All right, so that's in there, TIX 001. All right, so what Zebo says is we must do it without activation and with activation. So we're going to leave the activate off for now. We're going to go for, let's get this on the stream again, for our flight plan. So 5 left and LISTO to S. We're going to click 5 left, LISTO to S. Oh, you know what I did? Damn it. Let's reset. I typed the wrong plan. I actually took the Navigraph first. Right, so I've reset. For those of you that don't know, if you press and hold the menu button until it says it's reset, it's reset. Okay, so now we're starting again. Alright, so back. Put it in. Route. So EGCC EBCI 01. That is the one from SimBrief. Okay, you see it didn't put the runway in. You'll also notice there's no SID and star, nothing. Okay, so again, we're not going to activate this one. We're going to go through the departure. So we're choosing 5 left and LISTO to Sierra. Right, then we're going to go to the arrival. We're going to use EBCI 06 and it's RNAV. Okay, and we are going to use the transition. And that is that one. Then we're going to go back to the route. Now this is the first test. We're going to click on activate and execute. Alright, and there's no problem. So it did not freeze up, because this was the one we showed Zebo earlier today, this procedure I mean. Right, so there's no issue with that one. Okay, so let's restart, menu, reset. Right. EGCC EBCI TIX 001. Right, this time we are going to activate it. Alright, but we're not going to execute it. Alright, so we're going to do the departure. 5 left. LISTO's chosen. Arrival RNAV 06. You know what? I'm an idiot. I beg your pardon. Start again. I forget because it's now so part of my muscle memory. We should add the 01 at the end because otherwise it's got the runways in there. Route. So EGCC BC 01. Right, runway not there. Yeah, good. Guys, I like to talk to myself because I like to have a board meeting every now and then. You must just bear with me, and then at least you also know what I'm thinking about. So feel free to comment and, you know, throw your 2 cents in there as well. All right, so now we activate and execute. 5 left. LISTO not execute yet. Arrival or nav 6. That one and that one. Right. Go back to the route. Now execute. Right. So that is done. Alright, so that takes care of the 2 options there. Right, now he says we need to change it. So start again. There you go. There you go. Somebody understands the assignment. Right. Now we go to the route. EGCC EBCI 01. We need to stick to 01. Right. DIX 001. Alright, now we're not going to activate. We're going to go to this one. 05 left. Just do S. On F6. That one. That one. We're going to go to the route page. And we're going to activate. Execute. Then we're going to go to the departure because we have had a wind change. We're going to go for 23 right. Yes, we understand. I have absolutely no idea which one it will be because I didn't do the planning on it, but I'm going to pick that one. Why not? Okay. Then on the arrival side, nothing has changed. Go back to the route. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's go change it then while we know it. So it's 23 right. Let's do Romeo. Execute, doesn't matter. It's still executed whether we're on that page or not. Right, so no freeze. That's worked. Thank you, Antonio. Okay. Let's do the other one. Route EGCC EBCI. Right, this time I'm taking this, not the one with 01, so we're taking Navigraph's import. Andy, yes, what happens is the one with the 01 at the end comes from the SimBrief, and I used the SimBrief downloader to get it onto my system. The one without the 01 is the normal default format for the export that we get from the Navigraph desktop charts. X001 not activated. Then we go and you see there it's got the route in. See, that's the difference. Navigraph exports the routes, runways and citizen stars already. That's the only difference between them. Now, I'm usually lazy and I use the Navigraph one, and I don't have to worry about doing it here. But, you know, as Sasso said this morning, that's not how it works in the real world. You don't get your citizen star with. It's just the flight sim thing. So depending on the level of simulation that you want to do, you can decide which one you want to use. The fact is just we need to now test everyone that is, you know, one of them doesn't trip up the system again. So now we can activate and execute. And there we go. All right. Okay, let's go change this departure. I'm going to put that on 23 right. Let's do R. There you go. So that has now changed. Back at the route, execute. All right. How's that? That seems to be successful at this point in time. Let's change the star if we can. RNAV6, make it RNAV24. The star is going to be exactly the same. Unfortunately, we can't really change that. But let's just play with this a little bit. Okay, so that's done. So we've changed the runways, we've changed a couple of things here. Well, I don't know about you guys, but so far so good. It seems perfectly fine. Robert, are you around? Zebo's around, hold on.
I'm here.
Test the fixed page 2. All right, okay. We can test fixed page. Thanks for joining, Zebo. All right, Robert, let me quickly just see what Zebo's talking about this fixed page. Then I would like to ask you, if you don't mind, you're welcome to say no, I won't hold it against you. If you can just talk me through the way that you do your programming, again, like we did last night, if you don't mind. All right. Okay, I just want to see what Zebo says, because he's obviously now watching with and talking to me. Guys, just give me a second. Okay. All right. I need to cancel this. Okay. Wait. Before we do this, I'm actually curious. I want to see if I can see that. Yeah, there you go. Those are the fixes. Sorry, let me get this thing off the screen. There's the fixes that I've just put in. Okay. You can see. Okay. Full route reference. Okay. Yeah, okay. Right. Okay, Zebo, we can do that. I just want to do this last test with Robert, and then we're going to move on to the fixes. If you don't mind, please tell me if you mind, then we skip it. But I just want to see, because Robert was one of the guys that was struggling last night because of his procedure. So then Zebo basically says, after I've basically finished the whole FMC setup, I must use the runway XX and distance, different distances that is given me to show you the rings. So, Robert, I'm going to quickly reset this processor, menu thing for this FMC, and then talk me through it again. So, reset FMC position. All right, it's probably going to pop up later. All right, what do you do first, Robert?
We'll put the reference here. No.
Okay, so we put EGCC. And we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one, EBCI. Right?
Yep.
I suppose the flight number can go in.
Flight
Right.
number, yep.
You put the runway?
Nope.
No. All right. Now, next step.
Next step would be departure and arrival.
All right. Departure. I know it's 5 left and LISTO to Sierra. Right. The arrival is going to be RNAV 6. And that one and that one. Right.
No,
Next.
then before that, I would put in the airways and waypoints.
All right, okay, so let's go back to the route. Right.
Next page.
Yeah.
Sorry.
UTUXA. Okay, upper November 859. I'm going to put that in there. Then Honolulu, there we go. Lima 15 Biganil. Right. Upper Lima 9. KONAN. Upper Lima 607. There we go. Right, so that one can actually go in there. All right, okay, so if we step through it just on this page.
I would just, after that, I just put in the star approach.
Okay, the star and the approach, which we've actually already done, but let's just select it again quickly. All right, so that's done. Next.
Then I would go to press legs.
Legs, yeah. And you'll run through.
Yeah, I would just go change it to plan, run through.
Yeah.
And then activate it. Change it, put it back to map.
Yeah. All right, looks fair. Looks good enough. Right, and then you press activate over here.
And then I press activate.
Right, when you press execute.
After I've done the init ref page.
Ah, okay. And I think that's exactly what Sasso said we should never do. Okay, what he said was you need to activate it before you get to the perf init page. So that will be, not the perf init page, I'm lying, your performance page. So that will be the next page, your N1 limit page. That's what he said, yeah. I just had to think about it quickly. Alright, so now we...
The way Sasso explained it this morning, that's what I'd been doing all the time.
Yeah, and then we got a bit of hiccup, so let's see if it works now. That's why I'm asking you, you see.
No problem.
2.4. Cost index, I think I said 20. 20. We're going to go 290. Right, 045. 013 minus 3. Execute. Alright, then you just go back to root now.
Yeah, I normally go back to legs before I press X.
Why do you do that? And then you press... Why do you go back to legs on that page?
I have no idea.
Okay, alright. So it's executed. Okay, so the next step is now we still have to execute the route. When do you do that? How do you get from that page?
That's what I'm saying. From after following in the ref page, I would click on legs.
Okay.
And then execute.
Ah, okay. There you go. Alright. Okay. Oh, it's not hanging up. How's that?
Good.
Good stuff. Right, then let's go for N1 limit. Alright, where's our calculator? Come here, comes to I. N5 left. Yes, Scotsman, it's really going to plan, eh? Right, just make sure that should be fine. Optimum, and compute. Right. References, that's where we want to be. Where's that thing now? There. Alright, so I'm going to go for 31. 31. It's telling us flaps 1 and a takeoff 2, so we're going to go for takeoff 2. There's probably some restriction, so we're going to stay to climb 2. I'm going to go for takeoff. No worries. Alright, let's have a look, see how close we got. So we have 145 is fine. Out by 1, out by 1. That's very close. Right. Okay, well, there's no reason to change anything else. Let's look at this fixed page story. Zebo, let's quickly go to the legs. For go N1 limit page, you can use FMC to N1 limit. Okay, yeah. Zibo says I can also click there for the N1 limit. Thank you, sir. It's stuff that you know but you don't think about. We actually used it this morning. It just slipped my mind. Okay, now let's get back to this fix story and distancing. Full route set fix. My point. Runway. Alright, okay, we don't have a runway in our legs list except for the approach runway. As far as I know, yeah, that's runway 06. So we can use runway 06 and fix. Put that in there. 7. Hmm. 5. 3. Looks a bit different, Zebo.
I told you about that system, Nico, but I didn't tell you how much heat that thing throws off. I have to liquid cool it to keep it reasonable.
I can imagine.
It throws off more heat than a sorority initiation.
I'm sure. Right, okay, Zebo, is this what you wanted the guys to see? Because this looks awesome. This looks really nice.
I was going to say it looks different. I like that.
Yeah. The first thing I noticed is in the past, it never gave us radials. If we put in a distance, we only got the distance. Now, look at all the information that is displayed to us. I mean, it's marvelous. He's really done an upgrade, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Now again, this is one of those things where I know Sasso likes to do exactly this. He uses the runway and then he spaces everything out so he knows when to do his flaps and things like that. Me and Twixter, on the other hand, when we did training, and especially now me on this side, what we do is we use the final approach fix. So instead of using that as the point where the fixes are made, we do it over there. And there's a couple of reasons for it, especially for the new guys. It gives them time to react. It gives them time to get used to it. It also puts you into landing flaps configuration, full landing configuration before you hit the glide slope, because one of the things that happens is when you hit the glide slope on the ILS, your speed window opens, and if you want to fluster a new pilot, you tell him to now actually manage that as well. He's already concentrating and he wants to land and he's trying to do a good job, and the next moment he needs to now fiddle with speed as well. It's just an extra headache, you know. So that's one of the reasons we use that one, just as a matter of interest.
Even an experienced pilot, one of the few things you can do that'll get them, high workload immediately is have them maintain a faster than normal approach speed inside the final approach fix. They'll do it, but grudgingly, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, this looks cool. Thank you, Zebo. Let me just say thanks. Looks very good. All right. Yeah, so I'm happy. I think we're ready to go fly if you guys want to fly. We've done what we needed to do, I suppose. Just set up the rest of the aircraft now. FMC is done.
If there is Lube online, I would like to ask him something. In the latest versions, I get some using reserve fuel, climbing, and that's when I land. The fuel that I have in the plane is still exactly the one that was reviewed, and so probably it changed something in the calculation because I never got using reserve fuel before.
Okay, if Zebo does not respond and he did not hear that, Antonio, I'll ask him. Because you're not the first guy that's asked. Quite a few people have asked me, why do they get that? So we'll ask him.
The fuel that you have on destination changes during the flight, going up and up, and so the versions before it was very precise from the beginning, so something has changed there.
Yeah. That's 52, and that seems to be okay. Alright, this time I remember to put them on. Felt so stupid this morning when I forgot to put it on. Anyway.
Captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. We do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until carrying items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
If you look at this mod when it started compared to now, you have not just the sea of changes, but you really do have an aircraft that it's damn near representative of what you would do for an actual training sim.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
Many people would like to know if Zebo actually ever does sleep, or if he just does like Chuck Norris, just kind of waits there with his eyes open.
Yeah.
Carl, I prefer the Chuck Norris version.
Oh man. This new SAM, I really need to get used to it. What happened just now is I forgot to switch over to my APU. The moment I switch the beacon on, click, chucks the ground power off.
I've done the same thing.
Fortunately, it's quick. Now you've got to check everything again. I'm glad I did, because now I can set this.
Yeah, if you let it go just a little bit too long, it'll reinit the whole system.
Yeah.
Everything over.
Yeah. And 600.
For those that might be following the stream, what we're talking about, the plugin SAM, there are aspects of it where you go on and make configuration changes. And in this case, when it clicks off the APU generator, if you don't catch it very quickly, you will find yourself zeroed out, and all the changes you just made your FMC are then gone. HD simulation, I agree. It's not even a question. The Zebo mod 737 to me is the best 737 for a home sim, period, across P3D, across X-Plane, any version. It's just hands down the best 737 simulator you can get in your house right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love this one too. Right, anyway, there we go. Let's push.
Yeah, I mean, I never used the other ones, but it seems to be very, very difficult than anything else apart from professional things.
Yeah.
But
Completely agree. I've got a couple of, they're not, I wouldn't say high dollar, but you know, they're definitely payware on P3D, and they got great reviews, but they're just still not the caliber of Zebo. And I tell people on P3D that have never played any other sim, never flown other sims, I say, hey, go to X-Plane, check this out, and they don't believe me. And the few that have tried, they come back and like, oh my god, yeah, and this is free. Yeah, totally free. They're just incredulous. Such a high quality, you know, basically an individual made this, and it's just free. That just blows their mind.
yeah, and also speaks quite loud about the performances of X-Plane itself.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because nobody else used it the way Zebo is using, but it's capable of doing something really, really incredible.
Well, yeah, and look at him. He's got the platform, and by that I mean he has a well-installed, you know, user base which he can speak and kind of evangelize those changes, right? So he uses that effectively. He's not an idiot. Number one, he knows exactly what he's talking about. Number two, he's not a jerk, right? He has these changes that he wants to see made. He's very effective in how he brings these arguments to the table. You know, he always makes a real good point, and he doesn't back off, but he's never forceful or, you know, mean like you see some people do on the forums and such. It's refreshing to see that level of intellect put towards problem solving, and he does it great.
Yeah. Right, looks like they fired up nicely. Right, 7-8 knot wind there. Right, brakes release. There we go, gents and ladies. You know what I might not have done? I might not have released this pushback lady. I didn't set my parking brake. Oops. She's going now.
The signal would be on the right. Have a safe flight. See you after the bye.
Just landed in plug-in for Austria.
Mm-hmm.
Challenging.
Nice. There we go. Yeah, TopCat told me to do it. I'm using TopCat Performance Calculator. It's all part of testing that I'm doing and stuff. And I asked it to give me the optimal takeoff under the circumstances of all the atmospherics and the runway. And it said to me, D-rate 2. And it gave me an SAL temperature. And it said flaps 1. See, in the performance calculator, you can tell it, you can tell it if you want to force a certain flaps or a certain thrust. You can tell it, or you can tell it to give you optimum. So it will look at the weather, it will look at the actual runway, and then come up with a suggestion for you. That was mine.
Yeah, it's really good. I use it all the time now.
Yeah. If you use the rule of thumb, what I've noticed is in South Africa, the rule of thumb works really nice because we don't have the severe maximum and severe minimum temperature differences. So basically, I'll tell you what they told me many years ago. A pilot said to me, the way that they quickly calculate it is they take the outside temperature. So if it's like, let's say 16, 17, they multiply it by 2, and that's what they use. That's a rough estimate. Sometimes you've got to use common sense and just lower it or higher it a little bit. So 16 will be a 32, 17 will be 34. If it's 20, it will be 40. You understand? And then you need to know the margins resides between 30 and 60. Don't go over that. Don't go under it, don't go over it. And then experience comes into play. You know that the best takeoff is going to be around about 96, 97 N1. And you can change your SL temperature to suit that. If it's a colder day, you can lower it. Thicker air, better lift. Things like that. It's just something that you learn in time. But overseas, in your northern hemisphere, it's a bit of a problem when it's like 2 degrees because you can't multiply 2 and put 4. It won't take it. So the rule of thumb doesn't work that nicely in that side of the world. Again, that's when you just improvise. You put a figure and you go look at N1 and you say, okay, well, no, that's not good enough, or yeah, it's good enough, and you go for it.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Thank you, Trish. Buckle up.
Approaching 05 left. On runway 05
I'll tell you now. We've got Toga. Let me just get in the air, then I'll show you where it comes from. You see, when you do the D-rated takeoff, look how long it takes to actually build up steam and get going. It's really nice. It's a bit of a different twist on the whole story instead of just being a rocket the whole time. Yeah, that's what I also say. There we go. Come on, Dave. Yeah, that's Christer and Paul's fault.
You're funny, Neil. You're so funny. Yeah, and I know you're doing good on this tour. Really. I congratulate you, Neil. Fantastic. That's fabulous of all. Mr. Neil, I just landed in Klagenfurt, in Austria. You know the arrival with a double turbo. That was only hand flying only. It starts from 8,500 feet. Exciting.
Pina Colada, there's also a different map. I don't know if it will work in the air. Let me try. Yeah, here we go. There you go. Okay, so this is obviously picking up on the closest airport to us, so there's not much to see here. But you can, when we get to the other side, remind me to show you, because with this one you can, you know, also zoom in, zoom out. But this one is free. This one comes from the org. It's called Airport Navigator. So when we get to the other side, remind me to show you that one. No, this one I showed you last. That one is free. Antonio? You're still here? Okay. Just want to quickly have a look. The transition altitude is 5,000. We were talking about this earlier. Okay, Sasa taught us this trick a long time ago. If you just add the 1 foot there, what basically happens is the aircraft won't prompt you the whole freaking time to go to standard. Alright, so when you look at the actual chart, you'll see there are quite a number of restrictions. And to actually do it without this thing prompting you like it's doing there, okay, you just add that one. And the reason it's now prompting us is we're coming up to this last one, so you know, but that's a neat trick. See there, it's changed his mind again. But yeah, that's a cool trick. Sasso showed us a while ago already.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't know that the 737 stopped climbing by itself, even if you are looking at the altitude.
It will.
It will be very different
Yes. Exactly. So that's why they add the one. Pina Colada, again, pointing you to the actual chart. You can't go to standard. Just because it tells you to go to standard is exactly what me and Antonio is talking about. It's wrong. Every single one of these restrictions is an altitude. It's not a flight level. So you can't go to standard. The moment you go to standard, you read flight level, not altitude anymore. So there's method in the madness. You have to understand that until you actually pass the waypoint, you can't change it. And that's why we add the little one at the end to make it stay down and not prompt you the whole time.
in the days of aviation, going to from non-radar time separation using these old things called shrimp boats to the radar separation, they had these kinds of discussions, and that was a big thing, like when the transition altitude should be, and that's how they came up with the 18,000 feet, because of all the dissimilarities between the people on the coast and in the mountains and people landing at higher altitudes and all that. So they came up with that, you know, almost arbitrarily, but it seemed to be a reasonable compromise for the U.S.
Yep, yeah, lots of things to take into account. Yeah, Pina Colada, welcome to the family. I mean, Level Up is using the Zebo internals, so same thing. Zebo is happy, I'm happy, and he says, great. I told him that 9B seems to work real nice. We didn't have a single freeze up, so I don't want to sound weird, but I didn't have any freeze up with the previous model either. All the other guys had, so I might not be the best one to test it, but you all see it's working, you know. So the next step will now be to give it to you guys, and then you guys come back and say, yeah, it's working or it's not working. But here's the proof.
Yeah, development for Spring is quite demanding because it's for Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
It is. Fortunately,
On Mac, I never had freezing, so
mm-hmm.
Well, I've joined the party to see if I could
I know. If there's one guy that can, it's you, Mac.
No, only when Paul's present.
Oh, you need a catalyst. Shame.
He's just come online, so he might be here shortly.
Excellent. Paul, he's talking about you. Come quick.
I felt a disturbance in the force, young Skywalker.
Yeah, Pina Colada, you must make sure that you set it up correctly from the beginning and then you operate it correctly. Then you won't get funnies like that. Also, yeah, let me show you. When you're flying high altitude, like in the Andes Mountains and places like that, you have to use this facility over here to make sure that it is capable of flying those high altitudes, landing and taking off there. So just bear that in mind. But you'll learn. In time, you'll learn about all these things.
Also, there's a number of techniques that Nico has demonstrated in a number of his videos, as well as checklists to help with high altitude operations. Because there's actually some very specific things you want to do to keep from having density altitude, you know, make you take up the whole runway or even fly off the side of a mountain or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I've just allowed you into the Discord as well, so welcome. Hello, Krister. Thank you so much. Yeah, me too. I'm saving as fast as I can, Krister, promise.
A little help on the way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Since you serviced that, I'm going to delete that message there, Nico.
What message?
Pina Coladas. The Discord request you had in there.
Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, you can delete it.
Mr. Eklund donated 200 Swedish kroner through SuperChat. I hope you get a new computer soon. We need this teaching. Thank you.
Well, I must say, since I started flying with this group, what is now, I think, 2 years?
Yes.
I can't say how much I evolved to fly this aircraft. And today, you know, Paul and me, we created this Challenger tour of hand flying. See the one, stay safe and stable and still hand flying. This is amazing. For me, it's absolutely stunning.
It's a great achievement, Krister.
Yeah, I feel like it's a great achievement. And that's make it so much more fun. Also.
Yeah.
Great one.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for joining us.
hope you guys watching this stream also take the opportunity to join the Discord and to join this group and train with us.
Yep.
You can also teach us what we need to change, procedures and stuff. Maybe even discover some small faulty stuff in the Zebo or something. We need you guys. We collaborate. We are a decent bunch of guys. We help each other too.
Absolutely.
All the time. All the time.
Did you fly the leg yesterday?
Sorry, say again?
Did you fly the leg yesterday?
Yes. What leg are you talking?
I don't remember. It was from Italy to Greece.
Yes, I did. Oh yes. I only have one leg left to fly on the tour.
Okay. I wanted to join, but it was 9 o'clock in Italy. It's dinner time.
No, that's okay. That's fine. If you like, we can create another event for this training. Yeah, if you like. We were about 6 or 7 guys talking about and flying and stuff. So yeah, if you like, we can create another event. That's no problem.
You create it for me. I mean, I always like to join. Usual. I mean, I like to fly UR or ancient things that usually fly never fly nowadays. But the next time, as you remember, I flew that tour east. It was fun. And it was very interesting because
Absolutely my point, Paul's point also. Because if you don't know how to hand fly, stay safe and stable, then you have quite a difficulty to take on the failure section in the EFB Zebo. If you blow an engine and don't know how to hand fly and what's happening while you're hand flying, then you get into a big trouble. So that's why we are keeping on this training about the hand flying.
You look at those guys that flew that MAX. Both of those accidents, in my opinion, could have been prevented had they been trained such that the FMC was secondary and hand flying was primary. But they were used to being, in my opinion, FMC babysitters. I'm not here to beat the pilots down. I'm just saying there's a overseas and even junior airlines here in the States, you see this mentality of relying too much on the technology and foregoing the fundamentals of airmanship, and it really shows.
It absolutely do that, Coach. It was so spot on.
Yeah, we call them the children of the magenta line.
Carl, when you do your sim checks, do they ever make you fly a sim leg without instruments on like your old six-pack style equipment, without the FMC?
Yeah, let's be clear. I don't fly Part 121 on the line, but I do have type ratings in several jets. And for those that don't know, I also flew tactically. I was a Marine Corps pilot for years in the military. But I will say this about that: I came up before GPS was common, use, even in the military. So my old instructors were doing stuff like turning off the HUD on the F-18 and putting up a frickin' grease pencil and drawing on the inside of the canopy and saying, hey, look, do this, do this, do this. These old Vietnam guys, they were telling me like, look, we flew the F-4 Phantom back in the day and it had all these frickin' bells and whistles and all this garbage. But look, you gotta turn that crap off and fly the jet. You can have information overload and, some people call it helmet fire. But, the bottom line is, aviate, navigate, communicate, right? You have to prioritize effectively. So learning how to fly on the minimum instrumentation possible, like doing a six-pack and then doing a partial panel, single engine instrument approach is what I did on my type rating for the Gulfstream G5.
Yeah.
And it was not easy. But if I hadn't had those skills that were taught to me, I would have probably rocked that. By that I mean failed it.
I'm just wondering if in this modern day and age, the pilots do not get enough practice time flying without automation.
My opinion. Go.
Well,
Brad.
yeah, I'm sorry, but guys, this is exactly the purpose of the Challenger tool that Paul and I created.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that.
That's exactly the purpose of it, because we are not able to deal anything with the failure section of the simulator without practicing and training with Aviation, hand flying. And the only thing you have to do while doing this tour is setting up the FMC and the core settings and the frequencies as guidance systems, nothing else. And then you hand fly from there. That's the only thing you have to do. But for many simmers, it's quite difficult enough, because many simmers, as you pointed out for the real campus, many simmers are also the children of the magenta line, you know? So we need to get back to the basics of aviation, to hand fly and practice on that, how to set the trim and climb and descent, how to think about the thrust settings on descent and stuff, and just do it, because if we're not able to hand fly some little at least, we will not be able to deal with the failure section in the ES.
See, that's another thing too. I'm also a CFII MEI, which is a certificated flight instructor that's capable of doing instrument training as well, and I'm a multi-engine instrument instructor for both jets and props, single and multi-engine land and sea. And so as part of this, it's not me bragging. I'm just telling you, I have these instructor certs, and people will come to me and they do the biennial flight review, or they want to do upgrade training, or these kind of things. And I am appalled at how many times I'll sit there and I'll bring these little stickies, it's little suction cup things, and I stick them on top of the instruments to simulate failure so they can't read the input there. And I'll take the dimmer switch and I'll turn off, part of a G1000 panel, or turn off a tablet or something like that, and I'll say, okay, this failed, now what? And a lot of them, I'm serious, about 3/4, they look at me with this kind of dumbfounded look. I'm like, you still have an aircraft to fly here. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
Out of interest, is there still a requirement to carry backup chart? Say we all rely on the EFB and having it all, but if that EFB failed, do you have to have two available charts?
A lot of them do. Yeah, a lot of them have two, so that you don't have that issue. You have a primary and a backup.
Yeah.
And some airlines go so far as to say aircrew will have a primary and a backup, and then on the jet, a lot of times there's a backup for the backup. So not everyone can afford to do that, but many of them do. It's just operationally speaking, that's always the best stance, to have a primary, a backup, and a backup for the backup. That's why airplane systems have usually, tertiary redundancy on all the critical systems, especially.
Yeah. So you guys that sees this stream, your viewers of this stream, please join the Discord, and we will help each other out for these training purposes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we will do that. And we have real pilots in our group, and we have very experienced simmers, and we have some not very experienced, but we all contribute anyway.
Yep. I told you guys what I know, but I don't know it all. There's still things I learn. The moment I think any pilot or any professional really feels like or thinks that they know all or have mastered a thing, it almost always indicates that they need to go back and train more, because it's very, very flawed thinking. It's gotten more than one good pilot killed. So
Yeah. Complacency, tiredness, all sorts of things. can get you into bad habits, can't they?
Oh yeah.
Great discussion. Thank you very much, Mr. Carlson.
Yep. Look, there's Heathrow, guys.
For example, all people like me who get these systems, nobody has switched to VOR and VORs from the user on the instruments. And I always do that nobody does it. Even real pilots want that done.
How many times have you seen someone ID a navigate they're using?
Yeah.
Carl, quick question. I see that they've identified the categories of VORs in the USA. Is that becoming a familiar practice?
I'm sorry, what are you talking about here? Maybe I've seen it called something.
The VORs, do you know the power of them? You have the local, mid-level and high-level VORs.
Yeah, the HVORs and all that kind of stuff, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they've now recategorized them. There's only 2 categories now.
Well, they were redundant, so really you just need the high power in the terminal area, they call it.
Yeah. They said they've reallocated a lot of the local ones to be lower in the mid-level power ones.
Yeah, because it was terminal, which is the lowest power one, and they had the quote-unquote low level, which is more like for, like, think of approach control facilities.
Yeah.
Like going from LAX, you had the terminal one there, and then going to SoCal approach or Los Angeles approach, you had the lows there, and then going to Los Angeles Center, you had the highs. So that's how they had it there. But they kind of found out that, really, truly, using low powers, you don't really need the terminal. Just use low power, finagle the frequency there. You'll save a lot of frequency and congestion in the bandwidth, and then you have all the highs for the high altitude airways.
Well, they found that because of modern avionics or electronics, the low power ones now, they can boost the power so much easier. So
yeah, because the digital wave is much easier than the analog waves they used to have to compete with. And also, if you think about this too, television. They don't have the television interference they used to have along that UHF and VHF frequency.
But how many of the VORs are getting lost in America? A lot?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen the numbers. I just remember the conversation being held.
Yeah. Okay.
It was along the same lines as like 5G. I'm a double E on my master's in electrical engineering, so I really geek out on that kind of stuff. And so I try to have a sane conversation with people about 5G and what it is and what it isn't. And it goes into these kind of conversations where you're trying to conserve the bandwidth of the air traffic control navigation aids, right? And have the number of frequencies. If you look at, like, for example, the ILS frequencies, 109.3, 11.9, those kind of things, those are recycled several places around the U.S. because there's only a certain number available. But because they're low power, because they're not over the horizon, it's not a problem, right? But you did have that problem with some of those VORs, especially the ones that were dual site, where they're using both VOR and TACAN. So you didn't want to deprive the military of the TACAN part of it, but you also didn't want to mess over the civilian aspect. So there was a lot of finagling, and this started happening, negotiations about, how much is too much in terms of, boosting signal and how much is not enough for the lower end. That's what started the whole conversation, but I have not followed it for a few years. It's been about 5 years, I think 4 or 5 years since I kept up.
If you get into a critical part of flight, just tell me to shut up, Nico.
No, I'm prepping for descent here in the background. Doing an RNAV approach there. So we'll just set it up accordingly.
So looking at the airnav approach charts, so you see there are no frequencies, no VOR, so probably I think that Europe will switch off all those things quite because of the process of the aircraft.
Yeah, Europe has a very discrete problem with frequency congestion there too that a lot of other places in the world don't have.
The only problem with Europe is that there's an awful lot of islands, and a lot of them, it's like with NDVs, a lot of the islands have only got NDVs, they haven't even got VOR.
Oddly enough, though, the NDV frequencies aren't really a problem in terms of congestion, reception, or transmission strength. The fun thing we used to do is tune in, radio frequencies, and we'd actually listen to the radio while we were homing in on the signal in the days, like 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember when you used to tune in and listen to the local radio. And I miss how much is HF used these days?
You see it a lot with transoceanic still.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, they still do all the compulsory checks over HF. That if they require a radio transmission, if not, they have gone to a lot of the ACARs now, so they have reduced the necessitation for HF
with this
water like
CB. No, what's it? The
ADS-B.
ADS-B.
ADS-B and C, yeah.
Yeah. And it's all digital now, isn't it?
Yep, CPDLC, the air traffic control stuff over that was a huge innovation too, because now you can reduce all the we call it the lip running. Places like SoCal Approach, when I was there at SoCal TradeCon, I know a guy that keyed up and stayed keyed up for 18 minutes, a controller, just giving instruction after instruction after instruction during the afternoon push there. It was so busy. And you just think about that, 18 minutes talking. And I mean high intensity talking while he's thinking and doing everything else for 18 minutes. At the time they call it level 5. Now it's like level 12 or 14. Busy facility.
VATSIM have already got it implemented, but the only product is to receive it at the moment is Hoppy, I believe.
I was going to say Hoppy's network, because I do it with the airline that I help run. It's a version of the Delta Virtual Airlines, and we've integrated Hoppy with our stuff, so we do virtual dispatch with it. It's really cool.
Do you ever fly on Pilot Edge?
Yeah, whenever I can.
Haven't they implemented their own system?
I haven't actually used the CPLC on them.
Because I believe that a developer that I'm familiar with wrote the software for Pilot Edge so they didn't have to use Hoppy. I don't know whether that's true or not, but he was involved in their DSL, whatever you call it, and I think they've integrated something other than Hoppy. I'm not certain.
Yes, they did. Fans GUI.
Yeah, do you know who wrote it? I can tell you.
I'm looking at it. I'm just checking it out.
Somebody who's developed 2 very good aircraft.
Zebo?
No. Somebody developed 2 very... Yes, Puerto Rico. Same bloke as did...
the 650 and the TBM.
Yeah. And also the rain.
Yeah. The ski rain effect, yeah.
Yeah. I believe it was him anyway. So I understood.
that's interesting. I was doing some reading there about that. So anyone that's interested, you can go to Pilot Edge's resource for that. You can just Google Pilot Edge CPDLC. It'll direct you to the FANS FANS GUI for CPDLC, and it tells you how to download it and how to configure it for Pilot Edge.
Can we configure it for Zebo to work with that?
Well, since it's separate, I mean, it runs on top, right? So
yeah,
I believe it would.
Well, it could be modified to work on that. I believe that's what may be in the background of that. It's why Zebo hasn't adopted hobby, I think.
If they are clever, I mean, if they are smart, they probably should have inside the interface of that.
You see, until Aveo have actually made theirs live and got it all up and working, they haven't said that they definitely go in the hobby route yet. So, as I understand it, we'll have to talk with Gary H, or you can talk with your man, Nico.
Yeah, but the problem is, even if we talk about it, there's non-disclosure agreements, so it means nothing.
No,
yeah, I'm already stuck with some of that, so I just keep quiet.
No, that's fair.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Those are all just words, really.
Yeah. Anyway, top of descent's coming closer. We're across the ditch now, right on top of this ditch. So we're getting closer.
I can't make this FMC crash at the moment, Nico.
Yeah, no, I said to Zebo already, this one looks solid. We tried everything here this evening.
Yeah. Still, worthwhile exercise earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Greetings from the West Coast, gentlemen.
I was just watching the number tip over there on YouTube. 24 viewers, 23 and then 24, and there you say hello. Welcome. Hello, Dimitri.
Howdy. How y'all doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. This version 9B that I'm flying now seems to have resolved the freezing problem.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that.
Might have another task for you later.
Ah.
Yes, as if you didn't have enough already this weekend.
Well, I've still got the real world work to do. We've got a major meeting tomorrow at midday, and I've still probably got a good 8 hours job to do before then. So between tonight and tomorrow in the morning, I need to do all that. So yeah, we'll see, Dimitri.
Yeah, I'm just trying to qualify an issue. I don't want to bother you until I know it's something that needs to be looked at.
Okay. Right, that is our RNAV approach. We're going to go over that VOR switch onto that. Let's see. something else special.
Right.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
No, it's all right. I'm still playing around trying to gate crash this.
Okay.
In a cloud, the problem with cabin out warning could be that you didn't reach the cruise altitude that you set in the pressurization window plan.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
So if you without reaching the cruise altitude before.
Hey, Mac, do you remember which approach in Reggio was the hand-flown one?
No. Sorry, Paul and I have got problems at the Greek airfield at the moment, and I'm trying all different combinations to see whether it is definitely scenery or whether it's navigation related.
The only thing that I think it's very different in the real one is the route page of the FMC. If you have to change something, it's a nightmare. I'm pretty sure the real one is different from what it's in Zibo.
And there we go, nose dips going down. So our max approach speed is 200 knots. I'll have to keep my eye on it, make sure the aircraft handles that. Otherwise, we won't be able to fly that approach properly. Hello. Hello, Peter. Back?
It's alright, I'm just playing around, talking to myself, sorry.
No problem. Shout if we can help you.
No, I'm trying to bust this FMC and I can't.
No, Zibo's too clever for you. Thank you, Scotsman. I'll try the vanilla first. Then maybe strawberry. Look at that wing. My goodness. What is this? You can hear the turbulence going. Thank you, Dimitri. Oh my goodness. You know what? Put it on that final course. There you go. Scotsman, when you're on Discord again and we're not in public sphere, okay, remind me to tell you of somebody one day. I felt so bad for him. The guy eventually said no, he gives up, he can't chat on stream anymore. Remind me to tell you that story. Oh, it's heavy turbulence, wow. The wind's also, it's not stationary from one direction only, it keeps on moving. It seems to be a little bit better now, but it was moving quite a bit. Thank you, HD Simulation, much appreciated. Good to hear.
Did I hear Carl here earlier today?
Yes, yeah, he was. Yeah, I did not hear him say goodbye. Something must have happened in Iran. Lucian. Welcome.
Who was that?
Carl Childers. He was here earlier.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
I asked too many questions.
No. He's also got a family and busy and all, you know.
And a busy phone normally as well.
Yep. Nice new fixerings. I love it. Really cool.
Oh, you using fixerings, eh? Oh,
Zebo asked me to. No, he asked me to. Mac, check what he did. Check what he did. Don't know if you've seen this. When you put in the distance, it automatically does the radials, and look at all the extra information that is put in there now. I put it on the runway. He told me to put it on the runway, and then I just added the distance. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, lots of new info in there.
Okay. Or should I go and add some fixerings then?
And Lucian, that's nasty winds. Wow. It's calming down now a bit. Yeah, no, Zibo, you did well here, my friend. This is really good. Your altitude, that's calculated as well as your distance to go. Oh, nice, man. Just reading what he typed me. This is awesome. Yeah, the guy's a genius, man.
That's interesting.
Well, thank you, Nico. You didn't have to.
Didn't know you were Zebo, but yes. You're awesome. Dimitri.
What prompted the trip to Charleroi today? Nico, or you picked that randomly?
I was at EGCC and I was looking for a quick hop. I don't have time to sit here for 2-3 hours to do the test, and this was it. The only other similarly length trip would have been either Amsterdam or I think, now I can't remember. There was an airport in France that was also in the VA that I could go to, but I just chose this one.
Question, Nico.
Yeah?
When you put the fixturing in and you say it shows an altitude, it doesn't show an altitude that reflects chart restrictions.
No, it does not. And you see now we've already gone into them, so it's taken them away as well. So, you know.
Okay, all right. So as soon as you got to...
We got to them, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I literally went through all of them. So according to it, it's basically done its job. It's, you know, we've used them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. Interesting.
Right, so it's not this waypoint, it's from there on. We have to be at 200 knots. $2,500. Okay, it doesn't show the speed restrictions when you put on the data, but anyway, there you go. $200 knots or below. It says max 200, so that's fine. We're going to be at about 170. There's a little dip as well, so good. Hello, Grizz. Right, so let's use the EN while we have it. There we go.
Radio altimeter.
Ooh, look at that wind. Yo, yo, yo.
Aha.
What?
I
You-
hang on.
You broke it.
I think I found a problem.
Ooh. You're telling Zebo, not me.
I'll wait until you finish your stream, Nita.
You hope I can land, Krister.
No worries, Nico, you will. One way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious, what do I win, actually?
No, I've given up. I've given up. I don't know. We'll have to make a plan. I don't know. Get some new prizes.
Yeah.
You have the spoiler extended.
Sorry, Antonio?
I think you have the spoiler extended.
Negative, sir. It's just armed.
I see the
Oh, you know what? It's because of the position.
0, 6.
Yeah, you know what? Let me just move it that millimeter forward. You see? It's just that slight millimeter on the Bravo. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. I saw that after you mentioned.
500.
Krister, have you already won a free copy of the Zebo?
Yeah, a couple of times.
300.
Banned by Uncle, but he's not here now.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
Yeah, that thing lost its speed so fast.
Long landing, 5,000 feet remaining, 4,000 remaining.
Yeah.
3,000 remaining.
Caught me a little bit by surprise there, Antonio, to be honest.
2,000 remaining.
Take by surprise anybody.
Yeah, you saw me. I just felt I was sinking. Oh, what a feeling.
Yeah, in the real world it's even worse.
Yeah. So, welcome to Charleroi. Welcome to Belgium, guys.
Yeah, I saw that during the procedure, the last turn to get on the runway centerline extension, it went a little bit deep in descent. Too much.
Yeah, it did.
And it's never that bad, but probably still something to get perfected.
Yeah, in time. Righto, so that's done. Taxi lights. And
You know
go.
what, Nico?
Yes, sir.
As a prize,
Uh-huh.
I could really use another recipe for your famous Cook sisters.
Okay. I have to get one for you then. Thank you, HD Simulation, Scotsman.
Nico, this is a payware scenario?
No, it's free. The link is in the description below the video. Just click on show more. It's free.
Because this is on constructions yet, I think, the real airport.
I don't know, because Antonio, I just got version 1.64 now, before the stream. Okay, and I had version 1.4. Now I'm not sure if I did the upgrade correctly, because it's supposed to have, I think, Zoom level 19 also is here, and it's like I lost a bit of definition, and I'll show you just now. There is an anomaly here on the threshold on the other side. Let me show you. You're going to have a bit of a bumpy ride if you come here. You see, it's broken, and it wasn't like this. This thing was an amazing piece of scenery, but look at those bumps. You know, you're gonna have some fun if you come in that side.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I need to go and read up and see what I did wrong, and just copy back something if I deleted too much, because I tell you what, this looks nothing like what it was before I updated. This is totally different.
Yeah, I'm using the gateway one, and it's flat. It's okay, but it's still in development. I mean, the runway, the runway extension is not that long. You cannot use some taxiways and so on.
Yeah, I'll have a look at this one. Because they give you the patches, the OSM data, everything you need, the tiles data, everything to make that specific tile. So I must just go check if I didn't by mistake delete it. Just undelete it. It should be in my recycle bin.
If everything else fails, Nico, you can always use a higher number in the airport smoothing picks in your ortho for explain.
Yeah, we can
30,
do that.
32 or maybe even 64.
Yeah, we can do something like that. But anyway, no, I'm okay. I think it just came in that I was in a hurry. I just had to do it.
Carl Childers donated $50 through SuperChat.
Thank you.
Once more, with feeling. Grin.
Oh, what a feeling, man. What a feeling. Thank you so much. I've just noticed that for some reason, the pictures, the little animated GIFs that were supposed to come up is not operating. So I need to go check this chatbot thing out. It looks like it's thrown it away. Thank you so much, Cole. Much appreciated. You see, now I don't even know what I need to do now. I'm totally stumped. Let's get these guys off here. You know what? I don't have any of those stuff installed. We don't care. All right. Let's lock this thing. Beacon light off. There we go. And there we go. What was the landing rate, by the way?
Minus 129.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Sorry, Mac.
After the generosity of your stream viewers today, I think your names need a high security van when you go to the bank tomorrow.
Aha. Yeah, that's a possibility, Mac. Thank you to everybody. Guys, thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Zebo, thank you so much. You're a star. I'm happy with this model. Me, personally, I don't know if anybody else has maybe tested it and got errors, but I did not. I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
thank you, Sander.
Afterwards, Nico.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Here comes the thing. I just feel it. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, go enjoy yourself. We'll talk whenever possible next time again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers, Nico.